All right, let's get started. Think of me as your car doctor for today. You know, your engine is always talking, and we're about to teach you its language. Seriously, ignoring these 5 signs we're going to cover, that could lead to some huge problems and repair bills that are just astronomical. So, let's pop the hood and find out what your car is trying to tell you.
So, is your car trying to tell you something? The answer is always yes. It communicates through weird sounds, strange smells, all those little lights on the dash. None of it is random, you know. It's a very specific language. And today, we're going to translate it for you so you can catch a small problem before it turns into a massive, wallet-draining disaster.
Okay, sign number 1, and this is probably the most obvious one, strange noises. If your engine suddenly starts making a sound you've never ever heard before, like a weird knock, a ping, or a grinding sound, that's not just your car showing its age. No, that's a cry for help, and you really need to listen up.
And look, this isn't just any old rattle. We're talking about a really sharp metallic pinging sound when you hit the gas, or maybe a constant grinding coming from under the hood. That is the sound of metal scraping directly on metal. It means some really critical parts aren't getting lubricated, and your engine is, quite literally, grinding itself to death from the inside out.
So what do? Simple. You act fast. First thing, find a safe place to pull over and just stop driving. If you keep going, you could cause some really catastrophic damage. Second, once the engine has had a chance to cool down, check your oil. Is the level super low? Does the oil itself look kind of gritty? Because if it does, that grit is basically sandpaper inside your engine. And third, no matter what, you have to get your car to a mechanic. Right away. This is absolutely not a wait and see kind of problem.
Okay, next up, we're moving on from what you can hear to what you can see right there on your dashboard. Sign number 2 is a total classic, and believe me, it's impossible to miss. Frequent overheating.
Just take a look at your dash. If you see that little temperature needle climbing up into the red zone during a totally normal drive, and I don't mean just when you're stuck in traffic on the hottest day of the year, your car is in serious, serious trouble. It's a huge warning that the system designed to keep your engine from melting down is failing.
And this is all about your car's coolant system. You could think of it like air conditioning, but for the engine itself. It's this whole network of parts, the radiator, the coolant fluid, all the hoses, and its only job is to pull all that damaging heat away. If any single part of that system fails, or if you start noticing a weirdly sweet smell after you park, you might have a leak and your engine can basically cook itself.
Now, if this happens to you, the steps are just as critical as that engine knock. First, pull over and shut off the engine immediately. Then you have to let it cool down, and I mean completely cool down. This could take a good 30 minutes, maybe even longer. Only then can you carefully check the coolant level in the reservoir. And while you're there, look for any obvious puddles of green or orange liquid under the car. That's a dead giveaway for a leak.
All right, let's get to sign number 3, decoding your exhaust smoke. What's coming out of your tailpipe? Well, it's like a direct health report from inside your engine. And the color of that smoke? That's the most important clue you're going to get.
Okay, let's break this down real simple. See thick white smoke puffing out? That's not just steam. That's coolant burning inside your engine, and that is a major, major problem. What about blue smoke? That means your engine is burning oil, which it should absolutely never do. And finally, black smoke usually points to a fuel system issue, meaning it's burning way too much gas. The bottom line here is simple. If you see any of these colors, it's not a suggestion, it's an urgent warning. Get to a mechanic. And now, we've arrived at the one we all know and absolutely dread. That little amber light on the dashboard that causes more anxiety than just about anything else in a car. Sign number 4, the check engine light. I really can't say this loudly or clearly enough. Do not ignore this light. It is probably the single most important piece of advice in this entire explainer. It's not a suggestion, it's a direct command from your car's computer.
So, what's it actually telling you? Well, your car's brain, the onboard computer, has run a self-test, and it found something wrong. Now, the problem could be something incredibly simple, like you just forgot to tighten your gas cap all the way. Or it could be something much more serious, like a failing sensor that's about to cause big problems. That little light is your only clue.
Okay, here's your game plan. First, just pay attention.
is the light on solid or is it flashing? A flashing light is a code red emergency. It means a severe problem is happening right now, like a misfire that can destroy expensive parts. You need to pull over safely, immediately. If the light is just steady, get it to a mechanic. They'll plug in a little diagnostic scanner, read the error code, and it'll tell them exactly what's wrong so you can get it fixed.
All right, let's move on to our fifth and final sign. This one is less about what you see or hear, and it's all about what you can actually feel when you're driving. Sign number 5 is a noticeable drop in your car's power and acceleration.
You know your car better than anyone. You know how it's supposed to feel when you step on the gas. A healthy engine is snappy. It gives you a quick, smooth response. But if your car starts to feel sluggish, like it's hesitating or really struggling to get up a hill it used to handle just fine, that is a huge red flag. It means your engine is working way, way too hard just to keep up.
That sluggish feeling, that down on power sensation, it almost always points to one of the 3 basic things an engine needs to run: fuel, air, or spark. It could mean your engine's not getting enough fuel, it's being choked because it can't get enough air, or the spark that starts the whole process is weak. Any one of those will starve your engine of power.
So, when you take it in, a mechanic is going to start by checking these 3 key things. First, is the air filter totally clogged with dirt? Second, is the fuel filter blocked and restricting the flow? And third, are the spark plugs just old and worn out? These are so often the culprits behind that sluggish feeling, and catching them early makes a huge difference.
So, there you have it, your 5-point engine health check. Let's just run through them one last time, really quick. You need to listen for those weird metallic noises. Watch that temperature gauge like a hawk. Look at the color of your exhaust smoke. Never, ever, ever ignore that check engine light. And finally, feel for any loss of power when you're driving.
You know, at the end of the day, it all comes down to this: just being an attentive driver. Someone who actually listens to, looks at, and feels what their car is doing. That's the best preventative medicine you can get. Catching these signs early isn't just a good idea. It's the absolute key to giving your engine a long and healthy life.
I really hope this helps you feel a little more confident about what's going on under the hood. And hey, if you found this useful, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because in our next explainer, we are diving deep into the lifeblood of your engine with engine oil hacks and pro tips. Trust me, you are not going to want to miss that one. I'll see you then.